Bonjour and welcome back to Vox Terra, and if you have not done so, please do subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell. Well, here it is late October, and that reconciliation bill, sometimes called the social infrastructure bill, still seems to be shifting under our feet. And now it turns out the climate provisions are under attack. So I'm going to share with you the nature of this attack, the political reality we live under, as well as empower and encourage you to speak up for strong climate action. So as far as I am aware, all Democrats in the Congress, with the exception, or the Senate, with the exception of Sinema, Democrat of Arizona, and Joe Manchin, Democrat West Virginia, support passing the bill. Political reality number one, Big Pharma. According to Politico, Sinema, one of her main hang-ups or opposition to the bill is the provisions to allow Medicare to bargain with the pharmaceutical prices to establish better and lower pricing. Now, that's also my interpretation of reading Public Citizen as well, an advocacy organization. Well, this bargaining power of Medicare, people advocates believe, would result in lower drug prices for all Americans. Political reality number two, the power and influence of the fossil fuel industry. Joe Manchin specifically opposes a provision called Clean Energy Performance Program, or CEPP. Now, according to an Intercept reporter I heard interviewed on Democracy Now!, but this can be cross-referenced to other sources, not only has Joe Manchin received ample funding for his campaigns from fossil fuel interests, but he himself has made a fortune in coal, and is still the recipient of that fortune through what's called a blind trust. Now, considering these two groups, pharmaceuticals and fossil fuels, consider the words of Bernie Sanders. I heard Bernie quoted in an ABC News article as saying, "We are not only up against Sinema and Joe Manchin, we are up against the entire ruling class of this country." And specifically as examples of this ruling class, Bernie cited pharmaceuticals and fossil fuels. Now, whether ruling class is the exact correct word, we can address that in a future video. Well, back to CEPP and why environmental organizations think it is so important, and I agree. According to E&E News, without CEPP, the U.S. has little chance of reaching its greenhouse gas reduction targets. Now, falling short of our global climate pledges is extremely disturbing to me, but the problem is it may not be to much of the public. Well, much of the public, they're not aware of the feedback loops now kicking in, meaning climate change is becoming runaway. So according to the NRDC, the CEPP provides incentives for utilities to transition rapidly to low-carbon energy, which, according to NRDC, would obviously incentivize solar and wind, hydro, but in my own words, I'll add geothermal. Now, NRDC also points out the CEPP because it incentivizes low-carbon energy rather than necessarily what I would call clean, low-polluting energy. It has space for nuclear power, which myself and the Sierra Club are opposed to. But we can set that argument about nuclear energy aside and unite over the passing of this CEPP, which is what the environmental groups are doing. So back to real politics, according to E&E News, Joe Manchin was at a video conference with the White House and Secretary of Energy Jennifer Granholm, as well as 6 other utilities, major utilities. And out of them, only Exelon Energy publicly supported this CEPP. Well, why is that? Exelon Energy has a major fleet or a major amount of nuclear power plants, according to E&E News. And that's real politics. That was the way to get at least some of the established business interests on board in a society where the public is not actively clamoring for environmental change. We do not have a President Sanders who would simply spell out for us that we are in this battle, as he calls it, with the ruling class. And we are dealing with a fossil fuel petrochemical industry that has an amazing amount of influence within the Republican Party and just enough influence within the Democratic Party to yet again slow down much overdue transition away from fossil fuels. Look, I want to get you to speak up. We don't have to convince everybody. We need to get people who are already concerned about our environment to make their voices heard. Keep your arguments simple. Reach out to Congress. Politics is a noise and numbers game. In fact, if you live in a school district that has had raging battles over masks, you are now well aware of that decisions will be made based on who is making noise. Well, who to contact? Most environmental groups that I've received texts or emails from have said your senator. But at this juncture, I'd also add contact the White House, as well as Joe Manchin's office. I'll provide you links below the video to senate.gov, whitehouse.gov, fairly straightforward. Keep it simple, just tell them you support strong climate action in this here reconciliation bill. If you want a couple easy whys, well, fossil fuel extraction is not only pumping our earth full of greenhouse gases, it's also pumping our earth full of carcinogens, particulate matters, and other pollutants. It's past time we transition away, and we transition towards clean renewable energy like wind and solar, a connected grid backed up by energy storage, as well as conservation of energy, land, and other resources, and toward regenerative and organic agriculture, both as a solution to the climate crisis, but also a solution to the pollution crisis, all the toxins we are taking in. So keep it simple, just speak. And until next time, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel, you're clicking the like button, the notification bell, commenting, and as always, peace be with you.